But that's what we're doing. I might have been. Well, no, I probably wouldn't have. Probably wouldn't have actually. I'll bring you in something. We'll talk. Yeah. It's a low seat. Back row full up there. What's that all about? Do you pay extra money to get a seat there, or what's happening there?
Good show of your the strong jaw and mentality show.
Yeah, it was needed today. I think a strong mentality today. Good with all the basics. Good with doing all the ugly nitty gritty things in a game, which we do well. Because I had spells of being the better side, and you also need a scratch of luck, you know, and. But over the season, I'm not going to cry that in too much because I don't think we've always had that. So yeah, good for different reasons I think today, especially with a couple of changes, you know, and people have adapted and people have gone in and delivered performances. But it's hard to, you know, I'm trying to give an honest view because it's hard to really question the performance because we were very good at West Brom, we were very good second half at West Ham, very good against Everton. You know, it's hard for us to keep that level constantly. So sometimes you have a bit of a dip, like we did today at times, but all the good habits they put into training every day paid us back, I think. Well, that's another thing. You know, you certainly know, I've never spoken as if we're going to just roll teams over every week because, you know, we're trying to build, we're trying to improve all the time and we have to find different ways of winning. And today we did with two set-piece scenarios, you know, and not that many other chances. Obviously, we had a golden chance first half and then Woodies is given offside. I think it just is. And other than that, you know, the two chances or big chances second half, couple of maybes, good situations, but not necessarily chances. But we took the two chances. And a great finish from Vokesy, you know, because he could slash at that and it's a nice soft finish, you know, a clever finish, if you will. And then obviously the second one's a really, really well worked set piece. I mean, Longley's header's fantastic to put it right back in the mix. And then obviously Corky to add it in. So really pleasing.
Had you looked at set plays? I mean,
no, not particularly. We felt we could affect the back four. We know they conceded a lot of goals over the season, but we try and give good information to the players about all aspects of the opposition. But they were decent today. Don't get me wrong. I think they've got a decent side. So we've had to work, you know, very, very hard to get a result today. Sorry? Are we factually? Oh, that's all right then. We're safe now. Then I can say it. Yeah, I mean, you know, the most pleasing thing overall is to hit the 40 mark when we did, to have them games in front of us. We all know that it's not set in stone, but if you get around that 40 mark, usually it strongly suggests that you're going to be in the Premier League. And then it's how far can you go? You know, and I've been pleased with the mentality after that because we were really soft. We hit the 40 mark and then we were soft in the first half at West Ham. I reminded them of the players of the position they've got themselves in. And I reminded them, look, take the challenge on. And I thought that was good today because it weren't 1-0 down. There was no sort of like, oh, well, none of that mentality. It was like, come on then, let's go and, you know, let's stay in the game and let's go and see what we can get. And I think that's another shift in how we've gone forward. And, you know, we want that to continue down to the end of the season.
Do you think that's because you've got something to play for?
Well, I'd like to think it's not just because of that, because I think that we've been building a mentality season on season at the club. You know, we've got a group, not just an 11, we've got a group of players and staff who will you know, work diligently and tirelessly to deliver performances that get results. And so I'm really pleased with that. You know, it's not just about having whatever's in front of you, because you've got to do the work constantly. And we actually, you know, we've made a point really of just focusing on the next challenge, the next game. It's my job to look at the bigger picture, but it's my job equally to remain focused with the players on the next challenge. So that's what we've done, and it's paid us well.
The fans were singing about going on the European tour.
Well, I've said that they've been singing that for ages. It started as a joke, and now they're sort of thinking, hello, it might not be such a joke. You know, I just think that we've got another game next weekend. I've been talking about the next game ever since I've been at the club, and it's true. I'll say it again. That was my mentality as a player. You haven't done nothing till the end of the season. You know, it's your job to write about the ups and downs, the ins and outs of a season. It's my job to remember that you only get measured at the end of the season on the last game when that table's sitting there right in front of you. You can have good spells, you can have bad spells, but that's the real measure. So I see through all the ups and downs and just concentrate on the bigger picture.
You've got to accept that you have 3 performances through the season. You put yourselves in a hell of a position. You've got an amazing away record. And now suddenly, you know, you're right up there.
I've never not accepted it. I've never not accepted it. You said I've got to accept it. I've accepted it. I've always accepted it. We are having a good season.
You must be able to enjoy it as well.
Oh, of course. Yeah, because the first marker is can you be better than last season, where we achieved that a few weeks ago. So therefore, that's your first marker as a manager, or my first marker, is can the group be more successful than the season before? Well, we have been, but we were a few weeks ago. Then it was like, right, let's take the next one on. We did. Then the next one, we did, and now it's this one. So very, very pleased with that, you know, because we've gone way in front of the first achievement, which is to get more points than last season.
Sure, going into the Leicester game on the back of 4 wins in a row now, so do you feel that belief is sort of very much at the highest point of the season?
Well, that is that's an interesting aspect, particularly in the Premier League, because that belief system has to be there. It's, you know, it's very, very tough playing in the Premier League, constant scrutiny, pressure of different sorts for different clubs for different reasons, and that's all got to be made sense of. And I think we did a very good job as a collective, because when we didn't win in weeks, I was talking about the fact that the performance levels hadn't dropped much. We had a couple of bad ones, but that's to be expected over a Premier League season. We hadn't won 11, and yet certainly 4 or 5 of them were incredibly tight margins and a few decisions in the mix as well. So I was actually confident with the performance levels, but then you've got to take that into a winning mentality and get wins, and I'm pleased that's come, obviously.
That's a hell of a substitution.
I said to him, I said, if you don't score in 30 seconds, you're definitely not playing next week. Sometimes that's motivation.
22.
Sorry?
22 seconds in.
Oh, they told me 24. You can argue the toss. I'm not.
To win 4 games on the spin at this level, we only haven't done it for 50 years. So.
No, and you know, 3 away games, don't forget. It's really tough. We won 1 last season. 3 away games, that's, you know, great pride in that alone. And to come back again, you know, they were talking about we hadn't come back. We're done at home and away now to come back from a goal down, you know. So, yeah, so you know, a lot of markers being laid down again for what we're about, but we have to keep working on it, as simple as that.
How close Johan and Ben?
Ben, not as close as we were hoping. He had a knock on his shin, but it's flared up a little bit more than we hoped. So we'll have to wait and see over the next week or so how that settles down. Johan, hopefully, if he gets a good week's training, should be in and around it. I must say, I thought Kevin Long was excellent again today. But yeah, I think Johan should be in and around it. Scott is just behind him, so we'll wait and see.
Top pleased to be obviously back in.
Yeah, I mean, a tough decision though. Anna's been fantastic. Legs has been pushing all the way. But Tom, over a longer period, you know, a top goalie and a top servant. So that has to be recognised for me. You know, I am pretty loyal at times, as everyone knows. Equally though, a lot in the build-up, and you were there, I said, it's not rocket science. Popey's performed well again today. Tom will be respectful of that because he knows that's the way it works.
He's been at his best again, hasn't he, today?
Yeah, he made 2 big saves first half. Nice hands at the end when they're raining it in from everywhere. You know, dominant in the sense of how he delivered it, and he continues to mature and grow, not physically. Well, he might be, but he's an absolute unit.
Smashing.
Okay, thank you. Cheers, back row. Hope it was worth it. Popcorn all round.